Welcome to Earth2 Comic Cast, where superheroes exist and comic book talk is the norm. It's your host, Mo Crosby. And if you cannot tell by the overlay on this video, we are back with another rank show, and we will be ranking Superman. We'll be ranking Superman. So we're going to rank all live action Superman. And is that Elvis Presley? That looks like Elvis. Okay, I'm tripping. By the way, I have people that are going to be doing the show with me, and they are here. You've seen them before. Double R, Ray, and Roy. So welcome, guys. It's been a while. This is the second rank show of the year. The first time we've all been together this year for a rank show. So this is going to be fun. It should be interesting. We're ranking Superman, and the order or the criteria for ranking Superman is tricky as I try to do it. Hold on. It's a little tricky, right? But we're going to make it work. Obviously, we're going to be ranking them on the suit, the way they look in the suit, the way they act as Superman in the movie, and just all in. I think we're going to touch a little bit on the movie itself because it'll be unfair, because every movie with Superman in it has a different world, right? Or every live action, whether it was a TV show, it has a different world because, of course, and then there's going to be the debate on whether Tom Welling should be on this show at all. So, this is where it's gonna be. I think this is how interesting it's gonna be. The order of our rank, again, if this is your first time on this show, the order of our rank is as follows. We have the S tier. I was gonna initially say there can only be one, but I was told not to do that. We have good. We have replacement level, and so the replacement level, what was it again?
It could be literally any other actor, and it would be the same quality of Superman.
Okay, all right.
They aren't bad, but they're just
replaceable. Right, and then we have obviously the bad, and then at the bottom I have honorable mentions because there are Superman in black and white that we decided not to put on this. And if you look hard, I don't know how much you can see, but if you look hard, you can see at the bottom there are also different costume Superman. So it's going to be at the end of this, we're going to ask the question, which alternate version of Superman looked the best. Obviously, we're getting an alternate version on March, was it on the 8th? So that's going to be dope. I'm ready for that. I don't know who else is, but I don't think Ray cares much, but that's going to be a dope version that we're going to get. So without further ado, let's get into it with the first Superman that we're going to be ranking. And that one is Christopher. The first movie Superman we're going to be ranking is Christopher Reeves. Listen, I just feel I'm saying S tier just on the strength of Christopher Reeves. That's it.
I think. Sorry. I'm just really excited, but you finish first.
Okay, you're ready to go. Suit level, I think the OG Superman suit is the one that you can't really touch. Like, it's one of the most untouchable Superman suits out there. There's different. It was so iconic that I think the comic books. I also feel like it was one of the first ones where it got adapted by the comic books. It was one of the first times to me where I saw a suit get adapted by the comic books. It's really OG. I got to go to DC, Warner Brothers studio in 2016, and I went on the DC tour and I saw the suit. The cape is the fabric on the cape. First of all, you can't touch the cape because it's in a glass case. That's the only one you can't touch. I saw Henry's suit. You could touch it, but you get kicked out. Anyways, that's a different story for a different day. I'm not saying I got kicked out, but I learned you could get kicked out. But it's so iconic, and I think it's the only live action suit with the S on the back of it, right?
I think so.
Yeah, so to me, it's the GOAT suit. Like, it's the best one. Christopher maybe his build might not have been it. You know, he was a little slender. I think it was a model at the time, right, when he was cast as Superman.
Well, to be fair, the perception of what it takes to be a strong-looking guy has changed from the 70s and 80s to now.
And also
like now.
Oh, go ahead, Ray. Sorry.
Like there was a time when like someone like the Duke, what was his actual name again? I don't remember. Was considered like a strong-looking guy, but he was never really like fit.
Right.
You know. So like the perception of what's his name? The guy. There's only one person they call the Duke. I can't remember his name.
Oh,
played in all those cowboy movies.
You
mean John Wayne? John Wayne?
John Wayne.
The Duke.
But he was never like, you know, like actually
strong,
a buff
right.
dude. You know, so like I think the perception of what strong looks like has changed every time. And like for his time, he definitely looked buff. And he was actually a lot skinnier before he got the role, which he actually bulked up for.
Wow.
But compared to what superheroes look like now.
Right.
The post-steroids era.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true though.
Like post Arnie and action hero era, I think.
Yeah.
But so to me, the only reason I put that disclaimer about the build was because there are people I've seen in forums that he didn't look. And thanks for your argument, because that's the only reason I threw that out there, because I've seen that in forums.
Right.
But
you even look at Superman and you look at Superman in the comics back then, like
at the
wasn't
time,
drawn to be like super muscular or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, up to like the 90s, he wasn't consistently like super buff. Like I think Christopher Reeve embodies like late Silver Age, early Bronze Age Superman to like a T. Like I do not believe anyone who says he does not look like a comic book Superman. Like he may not look like your comic book Superman.
Right. I think that's what the argument should be. He doesn't look like what I started reading. But so in all of that, he also had like 5 movies. Okay, so let's
5.
Yeah, it was Superman 1, 2, 3, and then was it Quest for Peace?
Isn't that Superman 4?
4. I'm sorry.
He did 4. Yeah. I was like,
4 Superman movies, right? And yeah, I can't count. Roman numerals are really hard.
How many Rocky movies are there?
Well, do you count Creed?
Because you have to count Creed. So all in all, I think he had 4 Superman movies, which no other actor has done yet. That automatically, in my opinion, sets him apart. So that puts him in a status where he's kind of untouchable to me. And so I have him as my S tier untouchable Superman.
Right. All right. I think the first few things to state is the person who is super behind those movies, Richard Donner, had a perception of what Superman should be. And that perception is basically accepted by everyone now. And like, even though he got fired, like ultimately, because like I think he was working on the second one. Like he was working on the first and second one. Like he was spending entirely too much when they eventually Warner Bros. Was like, you know what? Screw it. We're getting someone else. You're fired. You know, so he got let go in the middle of the second movie, and they used like a bunch of his stuff or whatever. But like I think he had a phenomenal perception of what Superman was supposed to be
in the real world.
Yeah. And Christopher Reeve like idealized that as well. As far as I'm concerned, Christopher Reeve's Superman is what Superman should be. Now, I can't say the first movie is great, and the second movie is definitely not good unless you're being nostalgic. You know, I love it. I love it.
Hold on, Ray.
Let
me stop you. So there's 2 second movies.
There's the Donner cut.
Yes, there's a Donner cut.
So which second movie are you talking about?
Both.
Wow. Oh, wow. Okay.
Like the second movie is still great. Look, the first and second movie is still great movies for my nostalgia, you know. But the third and fourth movies, like they were done. They were done by then. And like, there's this perception of Superman that I have in my head that Superman shows up, he smiles at everyone, does what needs to be done, or he shows up, does what needs to be done, and then he smiles at everyone. Either way, he's always smiling at me like, hey, I got this, you guys are all right, I got you covered, I'm Superman. You know, no problem. That in my head is what Superman is. Like, oh, no trouble, Superman's here. it's sorted, and I think the costume looked great for the time. He looked the part. In my head, when I think Superman, I think Christopher Reeve. So he's S tier for me. Like, it's not even up for debate.
Right.
Yeah, I think I agree with all you're saying. I guess I have a slightly more negative point of view because I think that just a lot of the Christopher Reeve stuff hasn't aged well. And not even just because the vision of Superman is like, I like their vision of Superman, but just like watching like Superman 2, which is the one I've most recently watched, like it's just limited by both Donner, like Richard Donner as a director, and the special effects of the time. So a lot of like the story he was trying to tell, he couldn't tell, right? It looked really bad. Like, and I remember it looking really bad when I first watched it in the 90s, and that was in the 90s. And now, of course, today in a post Man of Steel, post Avengers world, we have very high expectations, and the special effects aren't even charming, and there's just like limitations. So like, and then the later movies 3 and 4 have some cool ideas, like the Red Kryptonite Superman in 3 is like, that's the thing that like that's still like, particularly because in the context of Christopher Reeve's Superman, Red Kryptonite Superman is funnier and like a bit more scary, right? Because he goes from being like the best Boy Scout to just your drunk dad that you don't want to like, oh, don't piss off my drunk dad, kind of thing. And that's kind of cool, but it's also the last 2 movies become very late 70s, 80s kind of tentpole movies that like become unwatchable. Like, because their cinematic language is so different than what we're used to. So for me, I hear what you're saying. I just have to say that I think he's good, mostly just because the movie, like, they are movies of their time. And Christopher Reeve's Superman doesn't transcend, I think, its origins to me in a way that, a really iconic movie or performance just can't quite get there for me.
Okay.
So his performance, and what he embodies doesn't quite get there for you either.
Yes, it's like close, but it's like again, I think just limited by its time, and it just can't quite get there.
Another thing, like we didn't actually bring up, are we also rating the Clark Kent or just the Superman?
Yeah, I think if we talk about the Clark Kent, I think we do have to kind of talk about the Clark Kent and how they play Clark Kent. I think so. Now, if we that and then let's add one more thing: the most iconic scenes from their movies, right? The most iconic scene from the Superman movie that we're debating right now is the "I've Got You."
Series of movies,
right?
Out of the kiss.
It's I've got you. You've got me. Who's got you? That.
Yeah.
That is that whole entire scene, the chopper scene. And I him and meeting Jor-El, and then flying out the fortress for the first time was also like the first time we saw Superman and saw Superman fly, on screen and on film. Yes. So I think those are iconic for me, and so that I think I'm always gonna be back there when I think of Superman and when I think of what it means to like. As Ray said, when I think of who Superman should be or what he should, is that Clark Kent. Yeah, I mean, this is a reason why I didn't want to bring it up because I don't think his Clark Kent is like the greatest. I mean, well, I don't. I think his young Clark Kent was good. Superman 1, but you only saw that for a little bit. And then when he started, like, going into the later movies, I didn't necessarily care for Clark Kent.
Well, I think the thing to understand, though, about Clark Kent in the original Superman movies is it's influenced by the Silver Age and Bronze Age, where Clark Kent is a secret identity, right? What kind of like how people say Batman is the real character and Bruce Wayne is like a face he puts on. Silver Age and Bronze Age Superman, like Kal-El is the character. And he pretends to be Clark Kent when he's dealing with humans who don't know he's Superman. Right. And not that there's no like, it's not reversed that way. Now, post John Byrne's reboot of Superman, Clark Kent became the foundational character. And a lot of the like adoption storyline, like what does it mean to be Clark Kent? What does it mean to be Kal-El? That stuff is not super present in the Silver Age. So like, I don't hold it against Christopher Reeve because Clark Kent wasn't a character. He was a pair of glasses that Superman put on to allow him to relate and interact with humans on their own level. He is literally, in the classical sense of the word, condescending in the in the Silver Age and Bronze Age when he becomes Clark Kent, which that is not the storytelling logic post John Byrne, where we'll see the later Clark Kent's and come in. So I think Clark Kent is a more important character for the post 80s Superman than it is for Reeve.
Yeah, because Clark Kent and Superman are literally the same person now in the post. Like before that, it's Superman. He pretends to be Clark Kent. But speaking of those Superman movies, that scene where he takes off his glasses and the curl falls and like he stands up taller and his voice changes, S tier right there. Like the whole like him transforming right on the screen, like in front of everyone. Where someone's gonna be like, "Oh, how can people not tell he's Clark Kent? It's glasses, blah blah." But like the difference between those two characters right there on screen was phenomenal to see personally. Yeah.
Right. So with all of that said, where do we put Christopher Reeve Superman?
I said S. You said S. I think Roy is saying good.
Yeah, I'm happy to be outvoted here. Like, this is not something I'm fighting about. Like, I think it's a really strong and iconic performance of Superman. Just
right,
so.
Right. So, I think it's a good debate, but I think for me it's untouchable. It's S tier. So, that's where it stays. Next on the list is one of my he's one of my favorite Superman, right? And I take that back. Next on the list is a TV show. TV Superman, and we're doing this appearance. So then on the list would be the TV appearance from the TV show Lois and Clark, which I watched as a kid because yes, I like Superman, but in all honesty, if you ask me, I don't really remember a lot from that show.
I remember a lot from that show.
I remember one episode where they switched powers. I believe they switched. Lois got his powers for like a day or something. I remember that episode. I feel like it kind of influenced the Flash a little bit because there's that one season where she takes his she has the Flash powers, his speed force or whatever.
That's also a classic Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane story point. Like, there's a million Silver Age comics.
There's a million.
It is. But I think that's the one time I remember. I distinctly remember. That's one of the things I distinctly remember from that show. So Dean Cain is the next on the list. So in terms of suit, again, it looked. You know what? It looked good for the production, I guess. It fit what they were trying to do. Was a sitcom, I believe. It was almost like a sitcom. It wasn't really necessarily.
Was it 30 minutes or an hour?
I think it was an hour, wasn't it? Let me look real quick. Go keep going, Mo. I'll look it up.
I don't necessarily think it was taken that seriously. It was like, oh my god, this is gonna be like huge standout. I thought it was something that was, it was fun. It worked well for where it was put. It was good. Is it something that I revisit? No, I've actually never rewatched any of the episodes or revisited it.
I will never rewatch them.
So
I remember it vividly, and I will never rewatch it.
So based on that, I'm gonna sit here and
45 minutes, so an hour.
So against my better judgment, I'm gonna say it was good. I'm not gonna hate on it. I'm not gonna say it was bad because again, I feel like a lot of this debate will be nostalgia. Well, the first 2, maybe 3 will be like a lot of nostalgia based. I think it was good. It wasn't horrible because I watched it, but it's just go back and I've revisited the Superman movies, but go back and revisit this, not so much.
I watched every single episode if I was home because it was Superman.
Right. And
one of the things I hated a lot was his hair, that whole like slick back hair thing they used to do with him. Like, I hated that so much. Like I wanted my spit curl.
Oh, and his Clark Kent kind of sucked.
His Clark Kent really sucked.
Yeah.
His Clark Kent really sucked. Now, I'm being a bit nostalgic about it, and I don't actually remember enough about Lois Lane's character, but I remember liking the Lois a lot more than the Lois in the movies.
Yes, Terry Hatcher is like my Lois Lane. I think that she's one of the stronger, like the classic Superman, like the original Lois, like very iconic performance. No disrespect, but just it like this Superman imprinted a lot of Superman tropes that I find really interesting. Like I love the Daily Bugle as a setting. I love the my favorite modern addition to the Superman mythos is the marriage. Like I am a big married Superman, Lois and Superman being married stand. And that's one of the big legacies of this. Now, and Terry Hatcher, like I recently watched a few episodes of this, and she is like what carries this show. Like, and Dean Cain is fine, like in the context of a '90s comedy drama lead.
I think he's just wheeled around in the wheelbarrow. I think, like, if I were to rate him, I would honestly say he could probably be replaced by anyone else in that suit.
Absolutely, he is hot.
I didn't dislike the guy, but I didn't think he brought anything as Superman, or his Superman brought anything that like I can go, yes, this is a Superman that I could also like point to. Like, no, he is definitely like put any other actor in there and it'll be the same thing.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's like it is a '90s like comedy drama, and you can't sort of remove. In many ways, it's like the original Superman movies. Like you can't remove it from that context, and the fact, of course, that they didn't have a huge budget, so there's no even like Smallville has more like Superman-y action pieces that really show off like who Superman is as a character.
I used to get so mad they never show him flying, like so mad. They'd always show the blur, or they'd show like the top half of him, like supposedly flying and floating somewhere. It used to piss me off so much. Like, show him flying, goddammit.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm trying to remove like Dean Cain. I'll just play my cards table. I find him an insufferable human being.
I agree. I agree.
And I think that's one of the reasons why I haven't rewatched the series.
I'm not rating Dean Cain here.
Though. Yeah, we're not rating Dean Cain here. We're
like, I'm not rating my dislike for Dean Cain. Like I'm rating his Superman like anybody would have done that for me.
Yeah, I think he's replacement level. Like any hot '90s dude could have basically done like, hot muscular '90s dude would have been fine. So I would definitely.
Much like Christopher Reeve, he also wasn't like jacked.
Right.
Like
it wasn't.
Like, still just
we don't really get a jacked Superman until Cavill. Like
So you know what? You guys say replacement. So you know what? It's fine. We'll put him in replacement level. I guess I got outvoted. Wow, that's amazing.
Well, again, we're only talking about the Superman. Like, if we're talking about like the show, like I like that show for what it was in the '90s.
Yeah. I liked for what it was, but like as a Superman, like anyone else would have made that show the same thing, or
same thing, or maybe.
And we're rating Lois's. That show has the best for me.
The best
again,
Lois,
we're talking Superman. So
All right. So the next in order of appearance would be here 2000 and. The next in order of appearance actually is the one that I believe that we are going to debate a little bit about, because I feel like he should be here based on the fact that at the end of his series, he wore the suit.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
I mean,
he did not.
He had that end scene where he was running, right? And he
Oh my!
The best part of the show. Only good part of the show.
That was to trigger Ray, because he's
the only good part of the show is that theme. Oh, that theme is amazing.
What we're looking at is literally the end of the show where he's being given the suit. So he becomes Superman for lack of, how do I say this? He becomes Superman. And if we have to say this, right, because he starts as Superboy and then becomes Superman at the end of this, he's
never Superboy though. He's never Superboy though.
He's never really.
He's Bush era Superboy. Like you're not going to get
his whole obsession with never being in the suit. Because I don't know if it's true or not. Like it was one of his stipulations, something like that. From what I hear. Don't know if that's true or not, about never wanting to put the suit on. I'm just kind of like, you know what? Fuck off.
And it could be why he got, he got why when at the very end you never really see him. He just pulls back his shirt and transforms. Even that was kind of whack. So I liked Smallville in the beginning.
I hate Smallville.
I liked it in the beginning when it started. I liked him as Clark when seeing a young Clark kind of develop, but then it just it jumped the shark super hard towards the end. Like it's the longest running Clark Kent show to become Superman that never really becomes like he becomes Superman, but he never really like shows up as Superman. And because of that, I think this is the only bad Superman, quote unquote Superman, on this list.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I guess I'm in the position to defend Smallville, a show I have not seen since the second season.
This is where Patrick would have been like, he would probably have my head.
I'm not gonna do as good a job as Patrick because I'm not a stan of the show.
Right.
The show has so many problems. I looked up real quick. So it's the creators. The creators, when they created the show, they set two creative rules for themselves. He'll never fly before the show ends, and he'll not put on the suit until.
Okay, all right. So it wasn't him; it was the creators.
Okay.
Oh my god.
So, look, it's Buffy, but starring Clark Kent, right? Like Smallville's biggest problem is it went on for 10 years, and its concept just couldn't last 10 years, right? Like it's about Smallville, and they have Lana, his first love, and then they create Chloe to act as a proto Lois Lane, but then they run out of ideas, so they bring actual Lois Lane in, and then Lex Luthor wants to leave, so then the whole dynamic is blown up, and the show just should have died after season 4, whenever they started introducing grown-up Superman stuff, and then he moves to Metropolis.
He does move to Metropolis.
It's the show doesn't work on its own. But Welling himself, as Superboy, is fine. He is a CW lead. He is replacement level to the core for me. He literally could be. He could play Oliver. He could have played the Flash. He's just a handsome, mediocre actor that the CW found. That's okay, who is attractive and can deliver lines at an acceptable rate, and is going to look okay in the costumes. Maybe it may not be the Superman costume, but doing the action stuff, and that's it. That's all they need. Handsome, capable of doing stunts and delivering lines in an acceptable fashion.
The problem, though, is he was never Superman.
He's Superman at the end, and the show was always sold as the origin of Superman.
He's technically Superman at the end. And I will say this though, I did start wearing a lot of flannel flag. I did start wearing a lot of red flannel flag because
I hate this show so much. But what I appreciate about this show is that it brought a lot of new people into Superman, and a lot of women, surprisingly, into Superman. For a lot of people,
Tom Welling was shirtless half the time. So
Tom Welling, but the show also centered around and eventually Chloe became as much a main character as Clark, and then Lana and Lois. Like a lot of these CW shows end up having a lot of compelling supporting female characters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that tends to help, and has a hot guy. So it tends to appeal to, many women, right? And that's the real advantage that superheroes have had in the CW era is a lot of these shows do enter into, create an entry point for a lot of people who definitely don't look like me and don't share our gender. Right. And sexual identity. Right. And that's the positive legacy of Smallville. There's lots of negative legacies.
That's exactly it for me. I hate the show so much, but I appreciate the fact that it brought so many new people into the Superman fandom.
But that's not what we're debating, though.
That's not what we're debating.
I love that because I probably would have never thought about it that way. But based on everything else, he's not. To Ray's point, he's not Superman because he doesn't have an iconic Superman scene. Every Superman we've debated has an iconic, whether it's a transformation or it's the first time they fly. Every Superman we've debated on up to this point has something iconic, right? He has the end of the series, right, where he goes to the roof and he runs, and all you see is the S, and you don't necessarily see the full suit, so we can't even add that is one of the criteria. We can't even add that.
Yeah. He doesn't do anything as Superman.
Well, I mean, look, let's be honest here, Mo. You should play it again. There is an iconic scene from Smallville, and that's the theme song and the opening credits. Like, that is the most memorable thing about Smallville. The people who are obviously hardcore Smallville fans, but like in the general pop culture, that is one of the most like along.
It is. Like, please don't play it again.
I mean, this is a sad thing. Alongside the original Superman theme.
Right.
This is the second most iconic piece of music.
Iconic Superman. Yeah, it is. It is.
That's
really
attached to Superman.
Right.
He's replaced at level to be well. Like he wasn't awful. Like I don't know. He's just like a CW actor.
CW, right? CW level, and well, I think because of the fact that he was never really Superman until the very, very end, I put him. He's bad for me. Right? Never mind.
He's bad for me. He's bad for me.
Okay.
He's bad for me.
Right. So
unenthusiastic.
I could argue replacement if he was Superman for at least the entirety of the last season or something.
Right.
But like no.
Right. So there we have it. We have an S tier, we have a replacement level, and we have a bad. Next on the list is my best boy. I don't know about you guys, but literally, in my opinion, it's debatable on whether or not he is the best or is close to being the best or has. I mean, I think the only Superman that I feel like was treated super unfairly, right?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like he didn't get a good break. He didn't get
the sequels he was supposed to get.
Yeah, it was so much. But I also feel like he has the most iconic modern Superman scene of all of our Superman that we're debating, of all of them.
Is that Saving the Plane?
Yep. Yes.
Which is just taken from... I'm sorry, I hate this movie.
You do?
I really hate it. It's just a remake of the original Superman. And I hate Bryan Singer.
It's a chopper scene. It's a chopper scene, but to me, it's elevated. It's like, whoa, this is the best. This is the best. I'm sorry, it's the best scene ever. I mean, there's so many scenes in this movie where I'm like, man, if this movie had more of a budget, because there's so much behind the scenes where, what was it? There was so much behind the scenes where they inflated the budget of this movie to add, to kind of like save money from all the other Superman movies they did. I mean, so they couldn't really up the action of this movie, but there's so many Superman moments in this movie to me when the city starts to break down and he's being Superman and saving everyone, and he's not destroying the city. No shade to any other Superman out there that do stuff like that, but he's not destroying the city. He's actively trying to save people and act like Superman. Granted, this is a retread because I think Returns was supposed to be was billed as a sequel
to Superman 2.
It's supposed to be Superman 3.
3, right? Yeah. So technically, can we punish him for being Reeves? Because I think that is one thing people do. Is he's just copying. To me, he's the best actor in that position. If you put him in that position, I can't really punish him for that. First of all, I will defend this movie to the end of the earth. So,
I love this movie.
Superman Returns. I love this movie. Modern Superman movie right now.
Absolutely not. I love this movie. It's not the best Superman movie.
No. It's the best modern Superman movie.
If we're ignoring all the Christopher Reeve ones.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you mean post.
Okay.
With modern access to at least some modern special.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. I agree with you.
Again, you're comparing that to Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, and Justice League. So I agree with. I hate Superman Returns, but I agree with you. I don't even know if I agree with you. They're all on this like garbage can. Like I don't know. Like it's on the top of the garbage can. So.
All right. So like the mistake they made in my opinion.
And the suit. Top tier.
The suit is there are two things I hate about that movie. I hate that suit so goddamn much. Like the cape was phenomenal, I think, but the suit itself, that small S, goes completely against like everything that every artist has ever tried to do with Superman's costume. Like completely goes with like that whole minimizing the shield thing. It's the only thing I don't like. And
it's actually
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. You know, you don't make that S smaller. And now that didn't make me mad. I hate it, but then I wasn't one of those people who was on the internet like going crazy about it or whatever. I'm like, I hate it. Whatever. Bring the movie. Aside from the suit, like you were saying, like he shouldn't be punished for playing another person. Like, I'm sorry. Like, he's literally trying to be Christopher Reeves, which doesn't quite reach Christopher Reeve level. You know, like he does a very good job of trying. He does a very good job of pretending to be Christopher Reeves, but he is not Christopher Reeves, and he never quite makes it to Christopher Reeves tier. His Superman gives a shit the same way Christopher Reeves does. But like, this is also the first movie where they got like super like heavy handed with the Jesus allegories and all that. And I was kind of like, I can live without that in my Superman. Like Superman was created by two Jewish dudes. Keep the Jesus allegories out of here for a bit. You know, like, don't get me wrong, it's
not the right allegory for Superman to me.
And it's not the right one. It's also a very easy one to use. It's easy to map on because like a lot of Christians it should resonate with a lot of Christians or whatever. But, like it doesn't work with me. And then like the entire movie was yet another Lex Luthor land grab scheme, which please. You know, like, please.
It's the worst ticks of Bryan Singer. Like, there's so many bad. Like, I don't blame Brandon Routh, who I do agree with, who got robbed. Like, I think he is good. Like, he has potential. Actually, the two most recent Supermen, Cavill and Routh, were so mistreated by their context.
Right.
I think he should have played that movie. Like, yes, this is a sequel, but he should have played his Superman. His idea of what Superman is. The movie should have had a better script. All the action sequences were the kind of action sequences I was interested in for a Superman movie. I think I'm not going to call it a bad movie. I enjoy it. I can still watch it today.
I watch that movie when I get a chance.
But I'm not going to be like, oh, it's the best Superman. Like, no, not at all.
It's the best in modern.
If I were to rate him, I'd say he was good. Not S tier, good.
Wow.
And there's what's sad about it is it's possible that like if he was playing his version of Superman, it's possible he would have been S tier. But like because he's trying to play someone else's like Superman, and he never quite reaches that same level. That just brings him down quite a bit for me.
But again, I'm not gonna punish him for that. I'm not gonna punish him for the creative direction taken by the director. I'm very sure that's what it was. That's what like, hey, look, this is good.
To be fair though,
listen. It's not punishing him. It's punishing that Superman, not like Brendan Routh. That Superman just doesn't work the same way.
That movie has no new ideas about Superman. Like it owes so much. Like this is the problem with that movie is Bryan Singer like made a love letter not to Superman the character, but to Richard Donner's first Superman movie.
Exactly.
And to a lesser extent to his vision of Superman. But he's really much more interested in that movie itself and what it has to say about it's like weirdly this meta movie that it just like, and that doesn't service the character of Superman. It doesn't service the storyline. Like it fails. Like it wants to be this meditation on, first off Richard Donner's Superman movie, then Richard Donner's Superman, and then what Superman means in American society. It's trying to do all three of those things at once while being it is what people make fun of The Force Awakens for being, right? Like it has a lot of the same emotional modes with some new elements like Superman as a stepdad stapled onto it. And it just doesn't work. And Roth is trying, and I give him a lot of credit for that. But to me, the movie just does not come together. And some of that is on the conceptualization of Superman that's put forward by that movie. Like the 5-year gap, it just feels like Superman abandoned. That also doesn't do justice to Superman, right? No. Because they don't give a good reason. Like he's sad after he it's not like, oh, he was fighting Darkseid or something and had to be gone for 5 years.
He left to go see if Krypton really did blow up.
After finally getting together with Lois and consummating their relationship. And it's just sadly, And look, the best airplane rescue in modern time is in Iron Man 3. So let's be here.
No.
So
no.
Is that one where they all form the donut going
yes.
down?
Yeah.
No. I'm sorry.
I'll have to watch this. It's on HBO Max. Apparently, I just googled it. I haven't seen it since it was originally released. So
okay, well, yeah, do that. So where do we have him? Again, he has the most iconic Superman scene, modern Superman scene. I think he's good. I think he's good.
I think he's good. I think that Superman is good, despite all the things around it.
Right. Again,
I think he's bad.
Wow.
So.
Well, outvoted.
I know I'm outvoted, but I just
have to say spoken.
No. Like if he says that's one below like replacement. That's one below replacement. So like we can't.
It's Mo's show, so like.
Listen, I'm just saying. If two people say he's good, one person says bad, he goes in replacement.
That's not what happened.
It's Mo's show, so
come on. But no. Actually, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We've gone through 4 of them, and we are at the last one. Oh no, we have 2 more. Because I'm not sure if you guys have seen the next Superman on this list is
Cavill technically comes before
Tyler. So
Tyler,
the next Superman on this list is the one that is constantly debated everywhere. The one I feel like, as you said, he also got an unfair shake. Again, he's the prototypical. He's in modern history or the way Superman is drawn right now, it's him. Literally him. Like nobody else fits the bill. It's this guy. And this is the next Superman on the list. And this is his iconic scene. I decided to start with his iconic scene because that is the most iconic scene from the movie.
What is that? Velvet?
Well,
yeah, it is.
Wait, this is not the most iconic scene featuring Cavill Superman. Martha is the most iconic scene featuring Cavill Superman. So like,
but this is in his Superman movie, because you can't really call that movie a Superman. If you saw the director's cut or I
have seen the 10 million hour director's cut.
Yeah, if you see that, it's 100% a Batman movie. Matter of fact, even the theatrical cut was a Batman movie. He was Superman for like all of 10 minutes. The fight was like 8 minutes, and then he spent the other 2 just standing around and looking like Adonis. Superman.
Yeah, no, I have a lot of Cavill opinions, so go ahead, Mo.
I don't like his suit. I think
suit's bad.
I don't like his suit. I don't like the fact. Again, a lot of people say, "Oh, they tried to do New 52." I like New 52, but I never liked the suit on New 52. I never really liked the edgy New 52 Superman. So the story, right, is from the first picture they showed for this Superman movie, right, was the bank vault, right? That was the first still that came out. It was like, okay, we're coming up with a new Superman movie. This is the first still from the movie. Zack Snyder dropped that, and I was like, yo, I'm in there, right? I am definitely in there, and I was like, yeah, because I finally saw something that looked like I'm gonna get the action that I didn't get in Superman Returns, and I'm gonna get some type of action. Because do you guys remember this?
Yeah,
vaguely,
yeah, right. Yeah. So I was like, I'm ready. I'm here for this, right? I didn't necessarily jive with the suit then. I didn't care, but Henry looked, big. We had seen him in what's the name of that movie? That God movie, right?
Wasn't he in the sequel to 300?
No. He was in. It was another movie that came out after it was in the line of 300 that came out right after 300. And then you find out Zack Snyder's directing. I'm not really mad at Zack Snyder because, again, I didn't really like Watchmen, but I think at the time everyone was still giving him props.
Immortals,
yes. So we had just seen Henry in Immortals, so we knew he had the physique and we knew he could be an action star. So I'm like, oh, I'm excited about this. And then Zack, again, find out he was directing. I wasn't really mad at that because he gave me 300. And for some reason, I didn't, because I think Sucker Punch was in between 300. Was Sucker Punch between 300 and this?
Yes, a lot of things were.
Yeah, it was Sucker Punch and I think Watchmen, and I didn't.
Well, I think Sucker Punch he used the cloud he got from Watchmen to make Sucker Punch, and then he made this movie. I think
so. I'm like I'm not really caring. I'm like, okay, I'm still on 300. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't care about anything else. I'm still here at 300. So I think I gave him so much credit for 300, and I was like, okay, he's gonna make a good Superman movie. And then I took the day off work to go see Man of Steel. And this is when I think about like I'm in grad school. So I'm like, I need to make money because it's a part-time job. And I took the day off work to go see that movie. And I left the movie and I wasn't sure of what I saw, right? So I went back with friends. And I paid for a woman that I was seeing at the time, and she fell asleep in the movie. So I'm upset now, right?
I mean, she's not wrong because the movie is very boring for long stretches. And then like all Zack Snyder movies.
Just to be sure, I went again. So now I'm seeing this movie 3 times. She fell asleep again.
Wow, this woman must have really been into you at the time if she went to see this movie twice with you.
She fell asleep again, and I didn't understand it because I wanted to like this movie so much. And when I started thinking about it, I think Patrick, Lucas, and myself did a podcast. This was around when Earth2 kind of started. Did a podcast where we're doing retro movies. And so we had retroed Superman. And we were talking about Superman Returns. And then the Man of Steel came up. And a lot of things didn't add up on why this Superman is not. And that's when it started clicking to me that the reason why I didn't understand what I saw is because this isn't Superman.
Nope.
And it's a bad iteration of Superman. It's horrible for the actor. The suit is not great. And again, when you mute out all the colors, when you take the iconic red and yellow shield, like no matter what happens, that shield should always be the same. I don't understand why Warner Brothers made him like change the S on that. I was so confused. And his hair, I'm like, I get they're trying to, remove the whole like, but you changed the hair. The whole thing is the hair is another iconic part of Superman. So like, and there was no transformation. There was no ripping the shirt. There was no spinaroonie. There was none of that. So I couldn't get with it. But the scene, the first flight scene I liked a lot. And that's it. I don't like a lot about this Superman. It's unfortunate. Like I'm starting to look at Henry Cavill like I don't like your face as Superman now, and it's that's the most unfortunate part of all of this because it's like, can we just scrub this from existence and go somewhere else?
No, I mean clearly we can't because we're getting a trailer tomorrow for Justice League.
Right, like this is the only time in this movie that he looked happy to do something.
Yeah.
Well, the only time. This movie is 2.5 hours long, and this 4 or 5 minute scene is the only time where Superman feels like Superman. And yeah, he's bad for me. Who's going next?
Like I knew I wasn't interested in this movie from the get-go. And like,
so even after you saw this,
like I was not interested in it, like
wow,
at all. But then I saw like Michael Shannon was attached to it, and like, sorry, excuse me. There are a few people that if they're in a movie, I'll consider seriously going to see it. Right. Keanu Reeves, no matter how bad the movie is, I'm gonna go see it. Not even this is before the Matrix. Like he's always been like a favorite dub star of mine. Like Winona Ryder, I'm gonna go see a Winona Ryder movie. I'm gonna go see a Michael Shannon movie. Like I was like, okay, Michael Shannon's in it. All right, let's go see what this is all about. Like I didn't have high hopes for this movie at all, and like I didn't think Cavill looked like Superman. I hated this costume even more than I hated the Superman Returns costume. Like my only problem with Superman Returns costume was they made the shield smaller. In this one, they made the costume completely like like really dark, as close to black as they could get it, while keeping it blue. Basically, I'm like, he's going for that really like. As soon as I saw it, I was like, he's going for that really. I want to be edgy about this, and like that is not what I'm looking for in Superman. And like, it's unfortunate for Cavill because I think Cavill is a phenomenal and charismatic actor. Yeah, well, phenomenal is me being excessive. He's a very good actor, and he is very charismatic.
And he's a phenomenal action star. Like,
yes. I think he could have made a very, very, very good Superman. Unfortunately, that is not the situation I have. And this is me like even removing my distaste for Man of Steel from the equation. Like Cavill's Superman is just not what I'm looking for in Superman. Like his Superman, his Clark Kent, I can live without all of that.
That's the thing. Was he in his origin movie? You couldn't even call him Clark Kent. He was a hobo for like majority of it.
Well, and Zack Snyder's not interested in any of the things about Superman that is good.
That whole movie could have been saved if they'd cut it completely differently, and if they'd I wasn't too big on the neck snapping. I disliked it, but like that wasn't what got me. What really got me was not too far into the movie. After he had done that oil rig stuff where he stole clothes and just left off with somebody's clothes, I was like, I'm out.
Clothes, right? No, what got me?
I was like, let me finish real quick. Right then, I was like, yep, this movie is a garbage Superman movie, and they could have saved all of that. They had like a little ending scene where he flies back into that garden and hands the lady or whoever it is some clothes. Like they could have saved that entire thing, but they didn't. There's so many things about this movie that could have made it such a phenomenal movie for me. Could have made it my Superman. Like even if we remove my problem with Zack Snyder and the costume from the equation, it still could have been a very good movie, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It still could have been a very good Superman, but it wasn't. And like I can't say something like, oh, like anybody could have done that. And I also think it's very hard for me to also call him bad, but to me it's a bad Superman. Like it's very hard for me to place it because it's definitely not good for me. It's not S tier for me. It's a bit ridiculous to say anyone else could have filled that suit, and the only thing left is bad.
Yeah, I have so many feelings about Cavill Superman.
But you know what got me? I think what removed you from the movie, I think, was that scene where he stole the clothes and they never touched back on it. What really, really removed me from this Superman and just said, you know what, fuck this Superman, was when Clark Kent, not Superman, Clark Kent destroyed that dude's truck.
Yep.
Was that because that is, first of all, he's a douchebag. Fine, whatever. We've probably all encountered a guy like that at a bar. We're at a bar chilling, and you know, it's like, yo, you're a fucking douche, get out, or you know, and then the bouncers come kick him out. But
the guy was a manlet too. He was like 5'2".
and then the worst. This is his livelihood. If it's probably a truck stop, that's his livelihood. Why would you do that?
Because Zack Snyder's only interested in the power aspect of Superman, right?
That is it.
All the other things that make Superman, he's not interested in until the kind of the end of Batman vs Superman. Like they kind of get there in the with run up to the Doomsday fight. After he's done fighting, like he's like once he's done with the Jesus stuff, that's the first half of Batman vs Superman. Mm-hmm. And then it's moving towards them fighting. So he starts acting more like Superman. You would think, right? He's concerned about people. He's and then at the end when he kills himself to kill Doomsday, like that is Superman, right? Like they get there with and then in Justice League, I like Superman in Justice League.
I love Superman, and I hate.
I'm afraid of what Whedon's going to do to that Superman. Snyder's going to do.
He's going to probably strip all of that away.
I watched that and I couldn't separate the previous versions of Superman,
understandable,
from him. Yeah. Like it's still the same Superman, but it's what he died and came back happy.
Yeah, well, I mean that's kind of what it is. It rebooted. Like you could tell that I don't think Snyder really changes his attitudes across Batman vs Superman, but Cavill's performance evolves over the course of all three of those movies. And I think it gets stronger, and he's learning more about like what he wants to be the character. And the character across Batman vs Superman, it feels like it's pushing back against like what's on the page, right? Like the relationship between him and Lois is warmer than any Snyder relationship in any movie ever is. Like he has good chemistry with
the first movie was horrendous.
He has good chemistry with Amy Adams, who's again would be a great Lois, is so poorly used by Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon.
I hated her in Man of Steel. It made no sense. Oh, we're gonna go to this alien ship, and by the way, you human lady, you're coming with us. Really? You only did that because you needed her on the ship so you could do that stupid thing with the Phantom, whatever, man.
Yeah, and so much of the mythology that Snyder comes up with is terrible. Like the insect stuff, like the visuals of Krypton, the visuals of
You mean Avatar World? What?
Yeah, the visuals of the Fortress of Solitude,
right?
Like of the spaceships, is all garbage. It's all garbage Zack Snyder bullshit. Like I hate Zack Snyder. I've never enjoyed a Zack Snyder movie. Like including 300, like which everybody loves.
I'm inclined to disagree a bit. Well, okay, so like
I didn't like
I actually did like the Krypton end of things before things start blowing up and he's flying on that insect or whatever.
Okay, so you like the court thing, right?
The court. Okay, that's fine.
I liked it because it had this like weird like pomp, like we're full of ourselves, like thing going on, which is the situation. Like the Kryptonians are so full of hubris that they get themselves killed when they could have saved themselves. I think there are quite a lot of things to like about that entire section of the film.
So you like
he could have used that as a thesis for the rest of the film. Like our pride couldn't save us, and then transplant that into the movie and like how pride is going to be the downfall of man or whatever. And Superman's scared to make Superman the son.
You're being way more thoughtful than Zack Snyder has
that's what I'm saying. You're asking Zack Snyder to do that. Is what I was getting ready to say.
Like the theme is like, what if you gave a bro superpowers? Like that's what Man of Steel Superman is. Like, what if you gave a middle American bro who's not a horrible bro?
I think
he's still
Zack Snyder's thing is he doesn't believe that Superman would do certain things or be certain things. And it's like, we don't need you to believe that Superman would do or be certain things. We want Superman to be those things. Like, you don't have to believe it. Like,
I agree.
We know people can't fly. We know,
To be fair to Zack Snyder here, like Zack Snyder's stated philosophical beliefs are in opposition to Superman's. Like the entire concept of how Superman was created as like an exemplar of human decency and a person who has power and uses it in a responsible manner consistently and acts as a moral guideline. Like his political philosophy that he has expounded and said, I believe the philosophy of Ayn Rand. I made a movie inspired by her books. Like there's the least Randian superhero, even though she loves Superman, like the least Randian superhero is Superman, right? Yep, particularly the Superman of Clark of the Silver Age and Bronze Age, like the Christopher Reeve Superman. It's good that we bookend them, right? Like the Christopher Reeve Superman is the opposite of that type of libertarian political philosophy. Superman is in service to us as humans, even though he doesn't have to be.
People have been writing about the fascism of Superman for so long, but he is it comes to a head in this movie because Superman is definitely like really patronizing and a fascist in this movie, as far as I'm concerned.
Facts. By the way, the clip I just showed, Joss Whedon did that because that was the end of Justice League. There was he did. That's Clark Kent, by the way, becoming Superman at the end of Justice League, and that's so weird to me that you take 3 movies to get to that point. And Roy, you're right. After watching, I didn't necessarily I don't know what you saw when you saw him being like warmer in Batman v Superman at the end. Again, you saw that. I didn't necessarily see that. I just saw him as I also didn't understand how, because it was a very hard shift from Man of Steel to the end of Batman v Superman where he was giving himself over, or it was very it's just very and then just like you, Ray, in Justice League, it's so polar. It's so polar from Man of Steel. But I enjoyed it. I watched Justice League and I left that and I was like, oh my God, I just watched a Saturday morning cartoon. That is how I felt after Justice League. Superman made me feel like Superman for a second. And I'm scared because on the 8th, we're going to get Zack Snyder's Justice League. And I am literally terrified of what is going to happen.
I'm not worried because I'm not going to watch it.
I mean, I might not like. I want to watch it, but I also don't want to watch it on HBO Max.
We're going to talk about it
because I don't want. The problem is watching it rewards Snyder, and I don't want Warner Brothers to go. Oh, so many people watch Zack Snyder's Justice League that we get more Zack Snyder Justice League. I want this to be the period that is your career as making superhero movies is over, Zach. Move on with your life. Go make the fucking Fountainhead movie. Go make whatever you want to do.
Go back to making music videos.
Yeah, whatever you want to do, Zach.
But do you think it's impossible to have that many eyes on this movie? I think there's at this point where it's just destiny.
It's like Roy said, it's too big to fail. Aside from people who are huge on Snyder, there are so many people who are gonna hate watch it. They're gonna make their money back whether or not it's a good movie.
Right.
I do not want a second Justice League movie. It is one of the few superhero products that I actively do not want them to make, and it actively will make the world worse and make fandom worse, and just let Zach go and make whatever you want. Go, just please leave the DC universe.
Okay.
It's the same with Christopher Nolan. Your time's passed, buddies. I don't need another Christopher Nolan style Batman movie or Christopher Nolan movie. We also have to remember that there is the influence of Nolan on the first one, which you can feel, right? Because Nolan helped Snyder develop the movie. Yes. And that's where you definitely see the first one where it's more of a stripped down Superman and try to be a realistic Superman. That's classic Christopher Nolan pre his third Batman movie.
So I'm saying this is bad.
Yeah, it's got to be bad.
It's so tough to put in a replacement again because of all the other things going against it. So I'm guessing we all agree this is the one unanimous bad.
Simply because of Zack Snyder. I'm giving Zack Snyder bad. I like Henry Cavill, and I would.
It's so hard for me to rate this because it's not good, but I feel bad putting him as Superman in bad. If that makes sense.
Right, I get that, but what can you do? Where else can you put? Yeah, it's
you have to overlook 3 hours of awful Superman,
right,
and then maybe 30 minutes of good Superman, across 2 movies directed by Zack Snyder and half a movie directed by Zack Snyder.
Right. And last but not least, because he's getting a TV show. He started off as Supergirl, and now he's getting his own TV show. Tyler Hoechlin as Superman. I'm not mad at this one. I'm okay. Again, for the CW universe, I think this works. If we're gonna, I think he's a replacement level because I feel like anyone can slot into that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna say exactly that, and also I don't actually know what he's like as Superman because I've only ever seen bits of Supergirl, and I tapped out of the Arrowverse, so I don't know what he's like.
He's decent. He's not horrible. He's not even Tom Welling. He's maybe a level above.
He's definitely more talented than Welling, I'd say. He's maybe less hot, I guess. Less he
hasn't taken his shirt off.
Yeah, he's definitely a better actor than Welling, but whether or not he has as much presence on screen, maybe not.
I mean,
but
but again, you haven't seen a full show.
What's his costume look like?
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's a CW costume, right? It's at the same what do you think of the Flash costume?
I think some of them have been very good, and a lot of them are poor.
Then it's somewhere. It's a median Flash costume level.
Okay,
it's not bad, but it's not great.
Right. I don't have his full red and blue costume, but this is it. It has those straps.
I mean,
it's not the worst costume.
It's not the worst. I feel like it's not black, right?
No.
It's not black.
This is his morning costume, right?
No, this was the this.
I like it better than the Man of Steel one.
Yeah,
it
looks better than
Man
of Steel.
I don't like those clasps, but I accept them.
They do get rid of them for the TV show. This is for Supergirl, and this is black because of the crossover they were doing.
Right. I don't like I said, I don't like those clasps, but I can accept them. I can look at them and go, yeah.
And most of everyone in the world hates him because again it's CW, and the fact that he's getting a show before Henry Cavill gets an actual sequel, like it's pissing a lot of
Zack Snyder fans off because like most people I know want Henry Cavill to just keep making The Witcher forever. Like they don't care about him being Superman anymore. It's like go make 5 seasons of The Witcher, Henry. And
so where do we? I mean, I think this is another short debate. Again, I feel like he's a replacement. Anyone can CW level, so anyone can just jump in. And
I'm gonna watch it. I'm ready for a middle-aged Superman.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna see the suit. I'm gonna watch the show because you did say if you're a fan of Superman being married, he's definitely married and on the show. So
yeah, they have kids in that continuity. So
yeah, they have 2 boys. I think they have 2 boys.
Two boys. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 boys. So.
I'm in there.
Like Super Dad. Like I actually like.
Yes.
That's
like my favorite thing.
Yes, I agree. Like I'm ready for middle-aged Superman. Like it's middle-aged Superman and Lois is what the show's about.
Yeah, so he's more mature. So it's like if you move years away from Smallville, this is where you are.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
I'm like Super Dad at CW level quality. Like that's good 22 hours to spend of this COVID year or 13 or whatever how many. It's good.
And so here's our final list. S tier. There can only be one. I should have just left it at that, but obviously it's. I mean, if we had put him anywhere else, that would have been crazy. But good is Brandon Routh. I feel like he's the only one. He's the only other Superman that we all agree got the short end of the stick, but he's the only one that could have been S tier if his movie was elevated, right?
No, I think we all agree that Cavill also got the short end of the stick.
His movie,
and he's not getting elevated.
Well, Superman Returns, I think, is as bad as the Snyder Superman movies, but it's not a Snyder movie, so it immediately gets pushed to the top of the pile of garbage.
Right. Okay. Replacement level Supermans are Dean Cain and Tyler Hoechlin, and are bad. I mean, the reason this one is bad, it should be in honorable mentions and not bad. But the reason this one is bad is because you never really get to see him as Superman. Smallville, Tom Welling, and Henry. It's tough, but it is what it is for Henry. Before we go, I was going to talk about alternate suit Supermans. If you care about it for a quick second, we have 4 different suited Supermans. I mean, I showed you the first one already. It was Tyler in his black suit for the crossover they did on the CW.
Crisis? Is that his Crisis suit?
Yeah, that was his Crisis suit. Because we had Crisis 2 years back to back. It was that Crisis, and then it was Crisis, the last Crisis where I think the first Crisis, and then the second Crisis where Oliver dies. Another black suit Superman is Henry Cavill, which is upcoming in Justice League.
He finally gets to have been the suit he wanted all along.
Right. To me, it's the same exact suiting, but it's just what it is for
color corrected.
Right. It probably is the same exact suit, just CGI.
It's CGI differently, yes.
Right.
Does Zack Snyder taking the color out of everything, color correcting?
He probably does everything. Because I can't wait for this trailer tomorrow, because I know for a fact that it's all going to be grayed and blacked out. The sky is probably going to... And you know the thing about the movie was everyone said the sky being red was Joss's decision. I don't think so. I honestly do not think so. I think it's 100% that was a Zack Snyder decision. Not to be left out, Dean Cain had a suit himself, a black suit.
Yeah, I remember that.
That suit is bad.
I think steel-toed boots on too. He has black steel-toed boots.
Yes, that's the only time Dean Cain's suiting was terrible for that show. Again, for that show. Also, not to be left out, Tom Welling had a version of a black suit.
Oh,
you remember that?
They drew it in chalk. Like what? Like what is? I mean, the Dean Cain one is worse, but this is not.
I think he got infected by a red sun or something.
Oh, did he get red kryptonited?
I think
that's what it was.
If Zack Snyder had done Superman when this came out, this would have been his Superman costume.
I mean, if Zack Snyder was given CW level budget, this would be his Superman costume.
I mean, but he's been given whatever amount of money he's been given, and this is his suit. Oh. This is it right here. Gloss black. Yeah.
I can't even, Zach. I go away, Snyder. Go away.
And you know the worst part of all of Zach to me, is the fact that if you high res, so if you look at some of the trailers, right, that are the teasers that have been released right now, but then you high res it, you freeze you take a screenshot and then you high res, you increase the resolution on it so you can actually see because it's all blacked out. It looks muddy,
like every Snyder movie. Like they're all blurry, gross. Whatever filter he puts over it, like
right. And I'm like, and Patrick used to say this thing that I didn't necessarily like, but then I see it now, and I think he wants to say it's a Snyder thing, but he puts it under the DC umbrella. That Warner Brothers DC doesn't have great CGI, but if you look at the first Wonder Woman, apart from the third act, which I feel like maybe he had a lot to do with, the final fight, I feel like the CGI in that movie looked good, decent. But most of the other movies have been produced. Aquaman stands on its own in terms of CGI.
Has good CGI.
Yeah, really good CGI. But all the other movies,
I think the best description is like remember that period when the PS3 and the 360 just came out, and like every game was like brown with a lot of gloom.
Yes,
that's
looking like
that is Zack Snyder's aesthetic right there.
Mud is Zack Snyder's aesthetic, right? Like
really, because I'll send this to the group chat. There are 3 pictures that a friend of mine, took from screenshots of the teasers and shared them, right? And I was like, wow, this. And at first I thought one of them was fan art, and he's like, no, it's from a trailer.
like in my head,
Dark Side.
In my head, Zack Snyder, when Zack Snyder is not directing movies, he's back home playing like that first Gears of War.
Oh God!
No, that was ugly. What are you? No. Right now, before we devolve,
man,
into a Zack Snyder. Oh no. But again, let's vote on the alternate suit. So we have Tyler, we have Zach. Brandon, Kingdom Come. We have Dean Cain, and we have Tom Welling's trench coat.
I mean, it's definitely either got to be the Kingdom Come or the all black suit. Like Snyder and Chalk Boy don't get much.
Chalk Boy.
I think I'm partial to that new Superman, his black suit. Like I'm partial to that.
I really like the way it looks because it's
a very good version of the black suit.
Yes, it looks really well done, and the S is, to me, the best part.
S tier.
It's S tier. S. Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. So thank you very much, guys, for helping me do this rank show. Yeah, actually, this was fun ranking Superman. I thought this was going to be a very difficult one to do, but it was fun. So thank you very much, Ray. Thank you very much, Roy. Thank you, everyone that's listening and